Everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to be making some patchwork Christmas cards using, are you ready for this? InLoveArts rectangular background board cutting dies. Okay, that's a mouthful. And I'll also be using InLoveArts 6-inch Christmas scenery scrapbook paper, and I really love this paper so much. I chose these 7 papers out of the pack to work with today. And I'm also using these beautiful glitter papers from Close to My Heart and some gold foil cardstock from Michaels. And I've cut all of the papers that I'm using to 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches so they will fit perfectly on the front of an A2 size card, even though the die set is a little bit smaller. I'll show you why later. And of course I'm saving these leftover pieces because they are going to be perfect for making other Christmas cards later. Okay, the first option that I'm going to show you is the Inlaid Technique. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the main piece of that die set to cut all of the papers that I'm going to be using, and I am lining it up in the center so that I will be able to use the leftover edge pieces on some of the cards. I'm not using the additional dies for this particular technique because I'm going for an inlaid patchwork look. But later I'll show you a card using all of those other dies. I'm not going to make you watch me cut out all of those papers because that would take forever and probably would be really boring, but I am just showing you a couple of them here and just to give you an idea. And now that I have all of the pieces cut out, it's time to start putting it all together. On this first card, I'm going to be using one piece from each of the different papers, which is why I used 7 different pattern papers for this, because there are 7 openings. But you can actually do this with just one piece of paper for the inner pieces and one piece for the frame. Or you can use 2 or 3 different papers. It's really up to you, and you'll see in the other cards that I'm making that I don't use all 7 pieces in each card. There are just so many different ways to use this set, and I really love the patchwork look that I get with this technique. So, as you can see, each of those pieces of paper fit perfectly in the coordinating opening, creating the inlaid look. But like I said, I'll show you later in this video how to use this die set the way it was meant to be used. But I would love to know what you think of this patchwork look. And now for a different look, I'm using the metallic cardstock and glitter paper for a more elegant look. You can even combine the scrapbook paper with the glitter paper. Seriously, the combination possibilities are endless. Okay, so remember that I said I was saving the edge pieces that were left over? Well, this is what I was saving them for. Because I die cut out of the center of the paper, these leftover edges will fit perfectly on the edges of the card. So that gives you the option to either have the cardstock showing on the edges or covering up the cardstock with these pieces. Just another option for these cards. For the more elegant cards, I think that these edges look really nice on here. So, talking about options, option number 2 is to use this die set the way it was meant to be used by using all of the smaller dies to cut out the pieces to go in the openings instead of using the inlaid technique that I showed you. I'm die cutting the smaller pieces from the leftover pieces that have the same shape, which will leave a nice little border piece if you really want to get crazy with that inlaid look. But of course, you don't have to use those pieces. And you can die cut those pieces from any scraps that you have. So this is actually a great way to use your scraps if you'd like to. And this is what I mean about having those extra little border pieces. So for this card, I'm putting a piece of silver glitter paper on the front, and then I'm gluing on the frame. And by the way, I keep putting the frame on in this direction, but you can always turn it the other direction. And now I'm just putting those pieces in the coordinating spaces, as you can see, and it leaves a border around them. I think this option is also very pretty. I really love having die sets that I can use in more than one way because I think it's really nice to have a variety of options. So tell me, do you like option number 1, option number 2, or both? Okay, I think those cards are beautiful just the way they are, but let's do some decorating. One of the things I'm going to be using to decorate a few of these cards is the InLoveArts Gnome Wearing a Christmas Hat cutting die set. I think it should have been Gnome Wearing a Christmas Tree Hat. I love this die set. It's so cute and it has stitch edges, and I love that there is a base piece that you can layer all of the other pieces on top of. For his beard and mustache, I decided to use Decofoil flock transfer sheets. I don't know about you, but I just thought that that white flocking was perfect for his beard and mustache. I'm using scraps of green glitter paper to cut the Christmas tree pieces from, and other scraps for the other pieces. That's one of the nice things about this, is that you can die cut the pieces from scraps, and you can use pattern papers if you want, or you can even cut everything from white cardstock and then color each piece with markers or colored pencils. I chose to cut his hands and nose from white cardstock and then color them with my Spectrum Noir alcohol ink markers instead of trying to find the right color cardstock. I don't know about you, but skin-colored cardstock is one of the hardest things for me to find. And I decided to ink around the edges of the beard and mustache using Hickory Smoke Distress ink. I tap the dauber on the paper each time after inking it to remove the excess ink, and I think that adding that little bit of shading gave it a little bit of dimension. And now that all the pieces are ready, let me show you how easy it all goes together. All of the layered pieces give it a little dimension, and of course, if you wanted to give it even more dimension, you can use something like pop dots or foam tape behind some of the layers. As you can see, having that base layer really makes it easy to see where each of the pieces go. And to add a little definition and dimension to that Christmas tree, I added some white opal liquid pearls. And here are the 4 Christmas gnomes I made. I'm also using InLoveArts stitched different types of tags cutting dies. I love the variety and they are perfect for smaller sentiments. I stamped my sentiments and then I took the stitch die and lined it up right over the sentiment and ran that through my Cuttlebug. I really love the stitched look, and even though this die set does not come with the layering dies to go behind them, I'm going to show you here in a little bit how I layered mine. Okay, so using this gold foil cardstock and a different die, I'm going to cut this out, and even though it's not meant to be a layer for this, take a look. I think that it made the perfect layer for that. So I made several of them, and I am gluing them to the silver glitter cardstock and the gold glitter cardstock and the gold mirror cardstock because, well, I just thought they were beautiful. Now for the banner tag, I had to use a different technique. So what I did was I glued that onto a piece of the glitter cardstock, and then I'm just going to use my scissors and trim around it. Okay, I'm only going to be putting this one card together, but I will be sure to show you all of them. The other die cuts that I'm using are from dies that have been in my stash for a long time, and since I store my dies on magnetic sheets, they're no longer in the packaging, so I'm not sure of the names or where I got them from. But the good news is you can decorate these with whatever you have. Okay, well those are the cards that I've made, and if you happen to like any of the products that I used today, there will be links below in the description box as well as a discount code to InLoveArts should you decide to shop there. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate you so much and look forward to your comments. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.